and this country was in lockdown. Government was trying everything that it could to support the citizens, the industry, the social sector, everyone. At the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, our Minister Shri Piyush Goyal formed 6 groups to work on different aspects on how government could assist the different segments in the society. For example, one group was formed to manufacture PPE kits. We did not have enough medical supplies. I was assigned one group to look at how could we use innovation and technology to solve some of the problems that are arising out of COVID. As you know, we were looking at the environment around us. We realized that one of the biggest challenges for citizens who are under lockdown was to get essential supplies. They need the vegetables, milk, bread every day. And you know, they were local suppliers, but they were not able to connect with each other. It was a matter of chance that I was looking at internal trade and also Startup India at that point. So there was this young startup team assisting me, and we had very good companies and some members from the retail community to assist and look at how we could solve some of these problems. We got in touch with many district administrations and tried to onboard some of the kirana stores with local e-commerce platforms and tried to create awareness amongst a set of residents through the district administration on which supplier is available to them, which kirana store is available to them. This was done across in many of the districts. But then, you know, we realized that in one colony, in one housing society, not everybody is using the same platform. You know, somebody is using X, somebody is using Y, somebody is using Z. If you look at from the point of view of the kirana store, he has to be onboarded onto X, onto Y, onto Z to be able to visible to everyone. And then there are different protocols, different processes for one to get onto one e-commerce platform, because catalog banana is different. He has to then create a catalog, open a digital storefront, and then start accepting orders on one platform. Then you go to the other. There are different processes, different set of processes. तीसरे में different set of processes. It just came to me, can we not standardize all this? Can we not have one common way of onboarding a seller on any e-commerce platform? And this was a question that I asked the group that was with me. Startup India was part of that group. There were so many others. And you know, next meeting, she comes up with the solution. She says, you know, beacon protocol, they are trying something like this in mobility. Can we try this for commerce? Commerce is very complicated. Mobility is just one part. But commerce has goods, it has services, it has logistics, it has payments, so much more. We said, let's try it. And we asked, we then started interacting with Sujit and all those people at Beacon Protocol. And they said it is open source, it is owned by the community, everybody can contribute. Now, you know, that gels with the philosophy of how Government of India has been propagating the use of public digital goods based on open standards, like what we have done in UPI. this actually gels with our philosophy. We thought, let's try and do it. And then, they came up with an idea of open commerce network for Bharat. So we said, okay, now let's try to do something. We'll create this and see if it is possible to do this beyond platforms. Let's try and do this. So we created one, concept note, and we said whom to give. And we thought, okay, now lockdown, you can't have tenders, you can't have this, so let's give it to QCI. QCI is part of DPIIT. We asked QCI to create one project. They created one project. They said we'll need 2 crores for a 6-month period to just test the idea and to see whether it is feasible to do it or not. When I put up this proposal to my secretary, he said, okay, let's get it evaluated through a committee of a number of joint secretaries comprising different departments of the government. So we had a committee of joint secretaries looking at 6-7 joint secretaries, different departments, looking at that proposal of open commerce network for Bharat. Some of them very positive, and some of them the usual, why do you want to do it? There's no point doing it. Why are you getting into e-commerce? Whole lot of questions. We had to persevere those questions. We made detailed notes on how and why it needs to be done. We need to just experiment with it. It's fine to fail. Let's try and make an experiment. We answered all those questions, and then again I went to my secretary, Mr. Guru Prasad Mahapatra, who's now no more, and he asked me, Anil, are you sure you want to do this? I said, yes, sir. And then he said, okay, now since you are asking for it, I am just giving it to you. Fine. That is how the first foundations were laid for a project like this. You need to name it appropriately. So we called it Open Network for Digital Commerce. Now, this has become a name where anyone can understand it clearly as to what this is. Initially, we thought it is a very complicated name, ONDC, what this ONDC is and all. And we thought when we launch this as an app or something, we'll create a nice name for it, and we'll see it later. But now, having looked at ONDC for last 1 year, I think it has become a brand by itself, and nobody is now talking of changing the name of ONDC because ONDC is identified by itself. And then we chose that logo, the simple logo for ONDC with some network components and all that. Just a simple thing. I used to have a monthly review with the QCI team for this project. Fortunately, on that call, Adil was there. He was chairman QCI. And then, 15-20 days later, he says, Anil, I have looked at somebody who can take this on, and then he sent me Koshi's CV. Koshi started working. He came up with a proposal of 25 crores. He says, I need this money. If I want to prove this concept, I'll have to do this and this and this. And I said, for getting a sanction of 2 crores, I had a tough time. 25 crores is out of question. You have to scale it down. You tell me what is the minimum amount that you can do it. After a lot of bargains, we settled at 10 crores. So then, they again, QCI sent me a proposal for 10 crores. And when I put up that proposal to my finance, every objection that could be put up to that proposal was there. Naturally, finance has to exercise due diligence. They have their own way of evaluating things. And naturally, they are right when they say that you don't have any expertise, you don't have any domain expertise. Let this be evaluated by METI, by NIC, by other experts who can actually understand what this proposal is saying. We said, fine, let that be evaluated by everybody else. And again, we had an interdepartmental committee evaluating that financial proposal, which fortunately they agreed to. So once एक बार जब ये हमारे फाइनेंस ने 10 crores के प्रपोजल को ओके किया, तो then I went to my secretary, Mr. Anurag Jain, who's just taken over in DPIIT, and he was new to this concept. And I explained it to him कि सर ये इसमें इस तरह से ऐसे होगा. He was so quick to sanction this in 3 minutes time, and he understood because he's done initiatives like Jandhan उन्होंने कर रखा है, UPI उन्होंने कर रखा है. He understood the potential of this, and it was done in 3 minutes. Now this project has been fortunate to have had people like this, and then we were able to give that money finally to QCI to start ONDC formally. Now these are some of the building blocks of how ONDC was actually institutionalized. Before this, we had a steering committee where we had individuals who had implemented population scale initiatives. Anil Agrawal was there, Anjali Bansal, Dilip Asbe of NPCI. We had Suresh Sethi. We involved Mr. Praveen Khandelwal from Confederation of the Retail Traders Association. We had Kumar Rajgopalan from the Retailers Association of India. So we had all the stakeholders who were looking at this, and it was providence that I was having startup and retail, both of them together, so that we could actually bring all the right kind of people together in this endeavor. And then we formulated an advisory council where we had Mr. R.S. Sharma, Mr. Nandan Nilekani, and all those members who were part of the steering committee. Then once we created this, we went to the minister, Mr. Goyal, and he said, we are not getting into business. I said, so we are not getting into business. We are trying to create standards. We are trying to create specifications. And we will encourage e-commerce partners to adopt those standards voluntarily. We are clear that we are not getting to business. And then we tried to institutionalize ONDC into a company. Now, what is the kind of structure you want to give? And we said we need to have a startup mindset. There has to be continuous innovation in that company. But at the same time, we need to have population scale initiative, population scale implementation, which means you need government support and government scale, and you need the startup mindset. And they said, let's have a non-profit company so that there is no conflict of interest within the company for creating an organization like this. For when you lay down standards and specifications, there are no conflicts of interest amongst the members, either the CEO or others. So that is how we decided to create a non-profit company, and that is how ONDC is born. We had tough time again, convincing the Registrar of Society as to why it should be named as Open Network for Digital Commerce, because they said network, this name can't be registered. And we said, okay, you have registered GSTN, so ONDC also can be registered. They saw the point that we were making, and so ONDC came into being, and QCI actually has incubated ONDC, and the team at QCI, they did all the foundational work for founding ONDC as the company.